News Channel 9 at 11 starts right now.
Today marks 10 years since a terror attack changed Chattanooga forever.
Tonight we remember the events of that day and the memorials around the city that honor the 5 servicemen who died. Thanks for watching. I'm Josh Rowe.
And I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield. First, let's take a live look outside over downtown Chattanooga. You can see the red, white, and blue colors which light up the aquarium tonight.
Memorials have continued to pour in from people and law enforcement agencies around the city. That includes the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, Chattanooga Police Department, and more. Hours ago, Mayor Tim Kelly put out a new statement which reads, quote, "In the face of tragedy, Chattanooga did what it always does. We pulled together. We will never forget the fallen 5 who made the ultimate sacrifice," close quote. Meantime, U.S. Congressman Chuck Fleischman honored the fallen 5 from the steps of the U.S. Capitol.
We lost 5 great American heroes that day. I can remember the profound sadness, the way the community came together.
And these are the men who lost their lives that day. Navy Petty Officer 2nd Class Randall Smith, Sergeant Carson Holmquist, Staff Sergeant David Wyatt, Lance Corporal Squire Skip Wells, and Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Sullivan. The attack also wounded former Sergeant DeMonte Cheeley as well. Our crew was there to cover every aspect of the story. Video here of the shooter's car outside the Navy Operational Support Center. As tonight, part of tonight's town hall, we heard from former Navy Commander Tim White, who was on duty that day. He said one of these shooter's guns failed.
We found out later that he was initially using a shotgun. That's why there was one first shot and then a pause between the other shots. He was using a magazine-fed shotgun initially that malfunctioned. I think that was, there are so many circumstances that I think were used to preserve life. It's so tragic that we lost 5 heroes, but things happened that preserved other lives that day, including that malfunction of that shotgun.
Dozens of FBI agents came to the city after this. Eventually, the Bureau impounded the shooter's car to look for evidence.
Another person who was there, Chase Estep, who was at the time was a Marine Corps Staff Sergeant, said he struggled to understand how something like this could happen in Chattanooga.
Well, I was sitting in my office and my sergeant came in and said, "We have an active shooter." And, you know, I was kind of in disbelief, like, in Chattanooga, like, how does this happen? So I was like, well, what do we do? Because at that point, you know, we don't have training on active shooter. We have training going to Middle East and Iraq and Afghanistan. And when it hits home, it's like, what do you do?
Outside the mosque, Chattanooga police officer shot and killed the shooter. A report from the U.S. Fleet Forces Command estimates 20 minutes passed between the first shot fired and the final shot that killed the gunman. U.S. Senator from Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn, also honored those 5 military service members. She posted on X, quote, "Today marks the 10th anniversary of the fallen 5. These heroes and their families remain in our hearts, and we are forever grateful for their ultimate sacrifice," end quote. Earlier, Latricia Thomas spoke with some of the people who knew those men best.
4 Marines and 1 Navy sailor remembered as the fallen 5.
None of them expected that this was a dangerous assignment. All of these men were prepared to go do what they have to in war, but here in Chattanooga, they expected to be able to do training and community service and other work but not feel like they were in a war zone. So it was deep shock to all of us.
Described as a patriot by his family, Staff Sergeant David Wyatt joined the Marines after 9/11 and served multiple deployments overseas. He had 2 children.
My son was a good father. He was a good husband. He was a wonderful son. He was a good Marine. He was a good scout. He was proud to serve his country. He was proud to serve his community, and most especially proud to serve his family.
40-year-old Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Sullivan from Springfield, Massachusetts, served 2 tours of duty in Iraq. He was working on his master's degree and loved being an uncle to his nephew and 3 nieces.
This man was a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps, and that's the heart and soul of a Marine battalion. The gunny is the man that keeps the whole thing together.
It reverberates big time throughout the community, and it's a huge loss.
21-year-old Lance Corporal Skip Wells had only recently joined the Marine Reserves before July 16th. He went to high school in Marietta, and his family says he was a friend to everyone.
He died with his boots on, and he died doing what he loved.
Skip joined the marching band, and I played football for Sprayberry High School. Sometimes the band would be on the field at away games. We gave each other bear hugs in our uniforms. Band geek and football player, best friends like no other.
27-year-old Sergeant Carson Holmquist joined Battery M just 90 days before his life was taken at the NOSC. He served 2 tours in Afghanistan. His fellow Marines said he loved to fix things and talk about his young son, Wyatt.
He always worked hard, and he was there for his team. When he returned home from boot camp, he stopped by the school to visit, and I remember seeing him dressed in his blues and just how proud he was.
And Navy Petty Officer 2nd Class Randall Smith, who fought in the hospital for days before passing away. From Paulding, Ohio, his family said he had a tell-it-like-it-is personality and an infinite love for his daughters.
Dying that day didn't make him a hero. It's being there for his kids, spending time with them, and just being there. That's what made him a hero.
Latricia Thomas with that story. The damage to the NOSC was hard to look at that day and the days after the attack. Right here you can see the bullet holes and a pane of glass right there with the damaged door. The president at the time, Barack Obama, said the country was mourning with us.
It is a heartbreaking circumstance for these individuals who have served our country with great valor to be killed in this fashion. Although the families are still in the process of being contacted, I want them to know that I speak for the American people in expressing our deepest condolences and knowing that they have their full support. They have our full support.
And the vice president at the time, Joe Biden, later came to Chattanooga to show his support.
Marines and sailors helping fellow warriors jump the fence away from danger, only to turn back into the fight to save more.
A policy change now allows some service members to carry personal firearms on federal property. A spokesperson for the National Guard recently told us their facilities now feature different forms of ballistic protection.
Back in the present day, you might have noticed the American flags on the pier at Ross's Landing. There are 5 of them, one for each of the military members who lost their lives. You can see those flags right here behind us. Fallen family members say these men went above and beyond the call of duty.
You know, that was a tough decision to make. You know, but it shows how brave they were. Yes. So, anyway, it just makes us proud.
He was screaming at them, don't try to go after the shooter. He's got more weaponry than you do. He's got body armor. And David and Tommy still went.
This is video from the Wreath of Honor Fallen Flag Memorial. There are also memorials on Lee Highway as well.
There's also a permanent memorial on Macaulay Avenue which depicts the faces of the fallen 5. Artist Kevin Bates started creating that memorial in 2015. He completed it in 2016. But as you can see, the paint continues to peel. Bates says Hamilton County Commissioner Greg Beck approached him to say the project is in need of a restoration. But Bates says since that conversation, he has not heard anything new.
I don't know what the timeline is for that. I hope that we're still on track to do something like that, but I don't know what that is. That would be a question for them.
About a year ago, we told you about plans to help restore the mural. Commissioner Beck said he would put forward a resolution putting more support behind the mural's preservation. A year later, we dug into records of past resolutions, and we couldn't find a resolution from Commissioner Beck on the Fallen 5 Memorial. We reached out again today, but did not hear back.
If you're unable to watch our town hall tonight, you can still catch that over on our YouTube page. In fact, you can watch the entire Fallen 5 covers on any of our social media platforms. That includes Facebook, X, our website, newschannel9.com.
Hey,
Hey there. Good evening to you. It's a warm pattern across a pretty big scale of the south and even into the northeast. Very humid conditions as well, with lots of 80s still around. 85 officially right now in Chattanooga. Most of us into the upper 70s and lower 80s, and it's humid with those humidity values at 70-something to 80-something%, and those dew points translating in the lower to middle 70s. One batch of storms right now, Crossville, spreading back in towards around the McKinleyville area. That's about it for the most part. It's north of Pikeville. It's far north into our area, but there could be a little flooding there in the next little bit. We're seeing temperatures slowly drop back through the 70s, staying warm and muggy overnight. Those heat indices for the next couple of days stay very consistent, up into the upper 90s to near 100 degrees at times during the course of the afternoon, and off and on chances here and there for some rain and storms. We'll detail all that in the extended forecast ahead.
A Chattanooga mother says a daycare worker sprayed her crying daughter with water. But with an investigation underway, the daycare says there's more to the story. What else we know is next.